we took this little jewel to work on. And I thought everything was pretty obvious what I had to do, and I didn't test drive it because it was out of gas when it got here. So we put gas in it, got it running, drove it in the shop. That's about all we drove it. Probably a good thing since the steering was literally falling off. But anyway, didn't drive it. Got all the work done, thought I was done with the car. Take it down the road, not done with the car. The rear end was, we'll say, noisy to be polite. So I put gears, bearings, the whole shooting match in here. I'll put the emergency brake cables on it too that somebody cut off, and I guess a whole bunch more work to do. This is broken off, so I'll have to do something with that. And yeah, so I'm just checking gear lash right now. Now, what do you think of this, Junior?
You're getting an honest reaction from me?
Yeah.
Okay. Show me this side of the gear. Like, go up with it instead of down with it. I mean, it looks like it favors the outside to me a little bit. It's not bad, though.
It's going all the way.
Yeah.
Pretty good depth looking at it in there, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it runs a pretty even tooth pattern all the way down to the last eighths, and then it does
a little heavy on the outside, but I mean, it's probably kind of whatever. Like, I mean, you're not going to want to shim that. You're not going to want to pull the pinion bearing off. I mean, it's not bad. I wouldn't pull the pinion bearing off. It's not bad enough to do that.
If I did pull it, I'd have to take a shim out of it, and I only have one in it. You know?
Well, you'd have to add shim and move your rig gear over. But how much free play do you have?
I'm already moved over quite a little more than, I'm already shimming this side.
Okay. How much free play do you have?
I have very little.
Still, it's 15 thou at least.
Yeah, I mean, that's about as tight as I'd want to run it.
If you had like a tiny shim, I'd move a tiny shim and try and tighten it a little bit more, but it definitely won't make noise there.
I'll tell you what, I had to turn it quite a bit to get it to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because when I first put it in there, it really felt too tight. So I don't know. I'm kind of
very runnable.
I'm on the fence with it, is why I said come look at it.
Yeah, no, it's very runnable. It's just like it's gonna loosen. It's gonna wear the first couple thou quickly, and then it's gonna be loose.
Yeah. Well, that's
kind of my thoughts.
I'm thinking
you don't have like some paper thin shims like these fellers.
Yeah, I do. I can put one
thinner than that.
I don't have any thinner than that. I might be able to take a thinner one out and put.
Well, I just changed sides of one
shim. They didn't send me a great set of shim packs here.
No.
I think that's about as thin as I got right there.
And there's no way you can force one in the. There's no way you can force. Oh, that's super thick. It's like a 20 thou shim.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of thin stuff. I can maybe. It's very tight on this side.
Yeah.
I had to work pretty hard to get the shim pack in. I can maybe just pull a thin one out over here. You know.
It's a shame there's not better size selection.
Yeah, they didn't really. I hate those stupid shouldered shims too. It's, you know, I like the full shim.
Yeah.
Because that's that one where you got the big shim with a shoulder on it and you make a pack.
Yes.
Which sucks.
Yes.
But
it does.
Yeah, maybe I'll pull one out of here and I'll try it. So it doesn't go together quite so tight.
I mean, I'd try replacing.
Because right now I've got it together almost as tight as it was.
I'd try taking the thinnest shim out of this side and putting it in that side and trying it.
As I said, it went together very hard. I'm thinking maybe I'll try it without a shim.
Without one shim. Try it. The worst thing that will happen is you're going to find out it's still too loose.
Well, yeah. If that's the case, I'll do it again. Ain't that sort of how this game is played? That auto parts is useless now. They've completely lost their shit. I need to call. I need to call Granby and see if they got my account set up.
Their paint's nicer anyways.
It is a lot nicer paint. Truck will look better and
It'll spray nicer. It'll be nicer on B, ain't that?
yeah, you'll have to work less to get the same job.
Let's say that is very perturbing when you call somewhere trying to get service and everybody's gone, and then you call the other location and they're gone too. Like, I mean, how is that?
I've got a really super thin one here.
Okay.
So I'll just pull that out.
Yeah, I mean, how super thin is it?
I mean,
If it's paper shape, I put one on the outside.
I'd have to get a mic there, but
Yeah, see, I'd probably put that on the other side and try it.
well, I had to put these in with a hammer.
Oh, well, that's probably a little tight then.
So
Let's just try it.
just saying.
Yeah, okay. That's a little savage.
Well, yeah, maybe.
I mean, happens.
It was put it this way. I'm putting it in and I'm thinking to myself, it's a little tight.
But you're really supposed to do the case spreader thing so it supports it better and all the... Probably was the right...
Why the fuck would you want to put that much load on those bearings? That
Because
does
it's not actually putting that much load in the bearing. It's a lot harder to put a shim in. I mean, even if you're only preloading the bearing a thou or two, like...
I put together hundreds of these things without a case spreader.
No, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying, like... The way the factory does them, when they set them up, they're tight. Like...
I pulled a lot of them out. They weren't as tight as this son of a bitch was, I can tell you that.
No, well, this one sounds like it was definitely over tight.
Like, I thought it was as tight as it was now, and I just pulled it out. It was not.
Yeah, no.
Clearly.
I think they went far too far.
Considering there's a big old ridge worn into the race there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Professional.
That's gonna still go in hard.
Yeah, but that sounds way better. That's like, oh, if that tightens down and stays like that, that's tons better.
I don't even have the caps tight yet, so.
Oh, no. What I'm saying, if that
Tighten the caps, it's
if
gonna.
that tightens down and goes in like that, that'll be a million times better.
Yeah, that's pretty.
See that if that stays similar to that, that'll
Didn't
be
change it a huge amount, but it did change it. I may still end up sticking one on the other side here. We'll see. I'll get these snug down. See what we want to do.
how's she feeling now?
Almost more loose than it was.
Doesn't look it at all.
It turns easier, so. It was turning hard before.
Yeah.
To me, it was just too tight.
Pretty preloaded.
I don't hate it there.
You can put a gauge on it and check it.
Yeah. You want to grab that dial?
Why don't you rotate it now and see if it moves or...
I'm not sure if it'll stay tight enough after a test drive with the new bearings.
Try taking that one cap off and try shoving that thin shim on the other side. Pull both off and pull it back a little bit or whatever.
I'm thinking it's going to get loose after I drive it.
Well, here, put this shim on that side then. Yeah, see, this is a nice thin shim. Yeah, that's actually...
I'm going to have to pull this all the way out to get the
That's
shim packs
actually
out.
two thin shims.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
There you go.
I'll stick one in there. That'll go in. That should do it.
That's thought it looked like two thin shims. I was like, wait a minute. That's too thin.
That just about worked out perfectly for me. I think to get that little slack out I don't like there,
Yeah.
I think that'll just about do it.
I'm definitely a big fan of using the old feelometer for the old backlash.
Yeah. I'm not sure I've ever actually put a dial on one.
I do for a reference. I make my guess in my head and I say, that's this many thousandths. And then I put the dial on it and I go, yeah.
Well, I've been doing this since long before we had dials, so. You gotta remember, I was building motors with plastic gauge back then. I'm thinking if I can do rod clearance and main clearance with plastic gauge, I can fucking
Feelometer over the
set
pistol slide.
ring and pinion with a feelometer. Just saying.
Uh-oh, copyright.
We gonna do what they say can't be done.
Mr. C.
So we played musical shims for a little while here, back and forth. And then we're gonna paint these and see what we have for a pattern. It's a nice way to make sure you got pretty good gear mesh everywhere. If you do it like they did it before, they're gonna be crowding one side of the gear pretty bad.
And then they'll sound like it did before.
It'll sound like, yeah. It wore the gear funny before in it.
How to destroy a ring and pinion set 101 was what they did.
Yeah. So, we'll roll her around now and see what we got.
Powered by the pinion, of course. You never turn it by the ring gear. Always turn it by the pinion because it is going to be turned by the pinion.
Yeah, because you won't get to see your...
And I always go both ways across the die also because you want to see both sides, your decelerating side and your accelerating side of the gear, to give you an idea.
Actually, that's pretty nice now.
It actually looks improved.
That's actually vastly
Can I see the
improved.
back side of the gear now? Because the back side of the gear is the side that actually gets...
Actually, quite good.
That's your driven side there.
Yeah.
And the driven side looks...
It's even.
Quite
like,
clear.
it's dead even now. It's funny, eh? Made quite a difference. I mean, we moved... what we take maybe 10 thou out of this side and then put
Max.
5 back in this side
Max, yeah.
to make that change. It's quite a change.
And what's your lash like now?
It's actually nice.
Wow. See, that's probably 8 to 12, which is right in the spec.
No, that actually worked out. That worked out as good as I could ask for it to work right there.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's really good. I'm glad you found that little split shim.
Yep.
That's just what I needed. I had to tap them in there, like I had to put them in with a punch, but not. I didn't have to use a 5-pound hammer like you did before.
So that's good.
Yeah, we're good.
So we're golden.
I can't stand to look at this anymore. I have to do something about it. I was avoiding it. It wasn't my job, but I just can't send it home like this. I mean, I just can't. It's improved, unfortunately not what I want, but it is way better. This door line here dips down. This is why I say never finish your bodywork a panel at a time. You need to assemble it, and you need to get all your stuff to work together. I do have it at least now where it stays in line. I can't get it back where I want, which again would require some surgery before painting. But you see how that is not exactly the same shape here. Because it fits here, and it fits up here, and it doesn't fit there. Wow. The door should have been finished with the fender, and the door should have been finished together. Anyway. It is what it is now, but it's better. It doesn't look as offensive. Got the rear end all together. Now, we just did the squirrel pisser pump, windshield washer pump. Got that done. And we put the new fuel injection unit in it. We put it in a piece at a time. I changed the injector. I thought Holly said it was probably the board. I changed the injector, didn't do anything. Then we changed the handheld, didn't do anything. Then we changed the wiring harness and it fixed it right up. We put the wiring harness all back on the same points we had the other one, so it was nothing to do with electrical pickup or anything like that. Everything, it fired right off and it ran fine. So, but I'll try a cold start here because I haven't started it for a bit. Before, the screen would just flash red and it would die. And if you started it enough times to get it warmed up, it would kind of run. It was horrible, but it ran. And now everything seems to stay good. I did drive it before I pulled the rear end out of it. It ran good, went down the road really good. But the rear end howled, like a stuck hog, so I had to do something with that. That's all fresh now. I had 411 gears. I went up to 373s, new bearings and everything, just to get it to go down the road a little bit better. 373 is kind of a nice middle of the road gear. It's you're halfway in between that screaming, howling, going down the road, and having highway gears that are gutless and you can't do a burnout. So it's kind of nice to. It's kind of a good gear. I mean, I don't think he's going to do any highway running, and if you're going to stick it on the big road and go, 80 mile an hour all day, they'd suck. I mean, you'd want an overdrive or something, but it's I think cruising around, just running around a car, it's kind of a fun little gear. It's got a 2800 RPM converter in it, so you don't want to go too much gear anyway, because then it's gonna just get hot and be a pig. So this should be all right. And then now I just got to do the dash. I got to finish putting this thing together. I had to pull the dash out. I had to pull the lower dash out to get a new speedometer cable in it. And then in the process of that, I want to try, now that I'm in there, I want to try to get a light in the shifter. And there's the high beam light, the high beam indicator light in the dash doesn't work. Try to fix that. And what else? See if I can figure out where they hacked off the neutralizer switch on this thing, and I'll try and get a neutralizer switch in it. It'll be a little safer. And I think I can put a fork in it if I finish that. Let's finally be done with this bad boy, so it can go home. It's really blown up and turned into a hell of a lot more work than it was supposed to be, so, and a bigger bill than it was supposed to be, so that's always fun. So we'll hope, hopefully everybody's happy. I think it'd be a pretty good car now. It was a piece of crap, really, before. So at least now it'll get down the road nice and clean and run good, and brakes and everything. Clearly, somebody should have told me about this yet. They don't show this on Power Block TV. You have to stick your head up under your dash of a car half the day, trying to fix something. See, I didn't get the memo on this when I started doing this job. Fun, fun, fun. I can get the high beam indicator light out of the dash. I reached up in there and got it out, changed the bulb, and I can't put it back. So, here's the fun part. There, we'll do one more little check. All fluids are filled, everything. I will have to glue that mirror in tomorrow, though. I gotta get a kit for that. But otherwise, I believe she's all done. This injection, as it runs, it'll build a program. It runs better and better and better. Pretty snappy little bitch, so. not going to be very accurate. I'd say that's the wrong gear in that tranny. Otherwise though, everything seems good. Visual inspection, make sure nothing's leaking. Everything is tied up out of the way. Had a few trouble spots there up around that exhaust and stuff. I think everything is good. See any leaking on the tranny or the engine? I think we can pretty much stick a fork in this one.